Welcome to Constantly Calibrating. I'm your host, Brad. With me this week, I have Justin and Ryan. Guys, what's going on?
And the rocket's red glare.
None of our events are that big.
The bombs bursting
No, we're
air.
definitely not that
Spangledish.
Gave proof.
I'm wearing a little bit of blue today. I don't think I have any red on. Let me check my underwear. Is it
Through the
red?
night.
No. Sorry, guys. I'll try better tomorrow when it actually matters.
That our flag was still there.
So, first things first, Josh is not with us, so we miss you, we love you, we'll see you, next-ish podcast, because I won't be here, so he better be. We have a sub button now, because affiliates get sub buttons now, so sub us,
Right
like,
in, this region over here.
yeah, it's
somewhere.
over here in the corner, it's...
Right there.
Mine's green because I'm our first sub, I think. I don't know.
No, you're not. You're the third.
Well, whatever. I'm our first live one, so fuck it.
Is it like good to announce that we're our own subs?
Well, see, I'm not a member of I don't own Constantly Calibrating. I'm using my own Amazon and channel to sub, so...
Which you can do, so if you are an Amazon Prime member and you have that thing just sitting there, because you do have to resub every month, it doesn't auto-sub for you. Hey, if you want to toss that us our way, let Amazon give us some money. Go for it.
We'd appreciate it.
Sub us, love us.
Give us that
So-
Amazon dough.
This is gonna be... Oh, man. The first topic I have we can't even do tonight because Josh is not here.
No.
Josh was accosted by a water elemental a week ago, and we still haven't talked about it, so we'll have to table that until after we get back from RTX and vacation.
Or we could just make it up and pretend.
What?
You gotta believe.
What is this link I'm reading here? I didn't.
Oh, this is just a quick thing that I saw right before we started
Who?
that was really kind of crazy. So apparently the director for a good portion of some of the early Law and Order shows, you know, the ones about terrible people who get arrested for terrible things. He got arrested for child pornography.
Well, wait. Was he the early Law and Order, or was he like the SVU stuff? Because
If he was Special Victims Unit, that'd be fucked up. But no, he's I believe he was just from some of the earlier episodes.
Oh, man.
He did more than 30 episodes though. His name was
Dude, I don't.
Jace Alexander.
Yeah,
You
I
might
don't.
be the subject of one of their new episodes.
He probably will be, but like,
Yeah, how bad would that be?
I can't watch SVU. SVU is too bothersome.
Yeah, SVU is on par with me with like those surgery shows where they show people actually having surgery. Like I understand that it's necessary and it's cool to have the science behind it, but I don't want to see that. I really don't. Like if it was happening to me and like I was bleeding profusely from my arm or something like that, I could see that. But if one of you guys was next to me bleeding profusely, I'd be like, I'm going to get you some medical help and I'll do what I can until they get here. But once they get here, it's on them. They know what to do.
Weren't you the one? Wait, weren't you the one there with Clayton when he cut his arm open?
That was different. We play that story up a lot.
Okay.
It was like when I got to him, it wasn't that bad. He'd already bled out mostly, so
He bled out. He's dead. He's all right now, but
I mean, he's
bled
dead
out.
to me. But whatever. Yeah, I had a friend in college who I was just sitting in my dorm room one day, and he called me. He's like, "Hey," and he sounded really weird. I was like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "I'm going to the hospital." I was like, "Oh God, are you okay?" He said, "Yeah, I was doing a rehearsal for a play, and I put my hand through a window, and I think I sliced a vein or an artery or something, because every time I breathe, it shoots blood everywhere." And I was like, "Okay, well, where are you? Because I'm going to come get you." He's like, "Oh, I'm already at the hospital, but I could use somebody because it's really busy here, and they just have me sitting in the waiting room." So I got there, and he's very, very pale. His hand is like completely wrapped up in gauze, and it's like really red from blood and that sort of thing. But he ended up being okay. And there's a really great picture. I wish that I had control of the stream where I could pull up the picture and show it. But I might put it on Twitter. So keep an eye out for that. I'll put a Twitter picture of it.
It's been a while since we've posted that anywhere. So Yeah.
So, but yeah, I thought that was a fun little fact and one of those art imitating life kind of things that we could touch on.
It's kind of sad, really, though, more than anything.
There's nothing. Well, there are a few things shittier than people who are child pornographers. Like, nothing is worse to me. I was listening to the Risk podcast. I subscribed to them. You should check them out. They're really cool. It's a storytelling podcast. They tell stories that are high risk, things that would make you very uncomfortable to tell. And one of their recent episodes had a guy who worked for the government, and basically he was in a law enforcement branch that essentially broke up child sex rings.
Oh, wow.
And child pornography and that kind of thing. And just the story he told about this little girl and this little boy who got taken away by their dad. It was so heart wrenching. So it's terrible. So, if you see something, say something, don't let that happen to anybody.
Yeah.
Sorry to be a downer, but it's real life stuff.
So, in other news, about us, we were supposed to change our website address here at Twitch this week, and that's not happening for reasons.
For reasons. Let's just say there's a hold date on the name. So we got it planned. It's just we misread something. So it's on delay. We'll put it that way.
Yep. So those business cards are going to be fun. Who's going through by hand and changing the address?
I thought about it, or just taking a sticky note or something and putting it over it.
Make some labels.
It's not like we didn't all just get 500 business cards with this new stuff we thought we were going to have.
I'm so glad I didn't order any.
It wasn't that bad. It's maybe $15, so not a huge deal. But they're nice cards.
They are nice cards, and they'll be useful one day.
Oh,
it's gonna be a fun story every time we give one out. Though, here's my card. Don't use that part.
Yep.
Yeah, it's still fully calibrating. Don't worry about it.
My Twitter handle's right.
Well, yeah, that's good.
I remember when I switched mine. I did handwrite the Agent Gamer on everything.
So, wow. Where do we want to go next? Do we want to talk about Blizzard stuff, RTX stuff, or the spoiler saga?
I think you already said it yourself. Wow. And then you.
There's a lot going on with Blizzard right now. I'm back in Blizzard mode, kind of not super heavy. This is all I'm playing, but I'm definitely.
He never invites anybody.
Bitch, you have not been online when I've been online.
Sorry, I work.
I mean, I've only played Necromancer after 9 p.m. for the most part, so.
Oh, I would have hopped on for an hour.
So anyway, that's one thing I've been doing. I've been messing around with the Diablo 3 Necromancer. It's a lot of fun. Corpse Explosion may be one of the top 5 most satisfying abilities in any game ever. It's so fun. You just click and things go boom! Boom! And there's all sorts of modifiers to make it even more fun. So that's a thing. I'm looking forward to Season 11 starting, because I don't like to play non-seasonal.
Same here.
That. I like the fresh start that takes everything away from you and makes you work. I don't know if I'm going to do hardcore anymore, but...
I recently had to do hardcore, but that's because I actually purchased it on a console, and I felt like I wanted to platinum it, so I purchased it on PS4. And actually, I made it through level 70 hardcore character.
Nice. It's I don't want to take anything away from that. It's not... it's hard, but it's not difficult if you plan properly.
Yeah, especially, don't, leave it sitting there thinking you could go get a cup of water and come back.
Oh, no. No, you better be in town.
I lost a few from that.
Yeah, that's... and when you realize you're tired in hardcore, go to bed. Don't try to push it and keep playing. That's dangerous.
I still haven't fully beaten Reaper of Souls yet. I feel really bad about that. I think probably what I'm going to do is I'll probably pay the $15 and get the Necromancer pack, in a couple weeks or so. And I'll actually just do a whole playthrough of the story. And then when the season starts, I'll probably be like, yeah, I'm going to play with you guys. This is going to be great. And couple days later, just stop, because that's how I work with seasonal.
The way seasonal's been for me is I'll go hard at it for about a week, and once I hit around, Paragon 200 or so, I'm just like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, see, I'm still hesitant on purchasing the Necromancer. Like, I still think that $15 price tag's too steep for one character.
It's totally not.
It totally is.
And no, it's not, really. Like, think about that. You paid $40 for Reaper of Souls. You got a new character and an act. I think the act is worth more than the character, honestly.
Probably, yeah. I mean, act is definitely worth more than the character. That gives you more play time. I mean, and everybody's like, oh man, you can play through the whole game as that character. It's like, yeah, but how many times have I played through this whole game?
And here's the other thing you have to consider. This is not a proper expansion, so you're not just paying for the Necromancer. You are paying for that, but you're paying for all the little incremental updates we've had since Reaper of Souls came out that they haven't been seeing any monetary income from.
See, that's the thing. I'm not saying, like, they don't deserve it. They definitely do. It is, like, how much game time I got out of it still is, but it's just that, like, everybody who talks about it still thinks that $15 price tag's a little steep for them.
Nah, I totally disagree. Like, looking through the lens of somebody who only kind of sporadically plays it, I think $15 isn't that bad. For everything that I've seen with the character, it does seem like a really cool character, especially if you were big into Diablo 2, where that was most people's mainstay for a long time. It's not that big of a jump. Aside from just the character, I mean, the little extra things that you get, like the extra space and all that stuff, that's pretty cool. And then to go along with what Brad says, we're paying for stuff that, they haven't been paid for yet technically, because there's no recurring income really. I mean, they don't even have really much of like a shop thing where money comes in for that for the most part.
No,
really?
They cut out the real money auction house. The only place they see income now is base game expansion or chest sales, and now the Necromancer pack. And the other thing that a lot of people, I want to say, don't consider is how hard it is to balance a brand new class in any kind of game.
I know how much work goes out into it too. Well, I don't know how much work actually goes into it, but I mean, like, they're not just bringing the character in, but they're also, like, they have to make the armor sets for him, the armor getting up to him.
They had to pay voice actors.
They did.
There's a lot of little details that I think the community in general, not you, is overlooking when they're bitching about it. Because I've seen a lot of bitching about it. I was like, 15, that's my sweet spot. Let's go. I'm done. And furthermore, I know it doesn't apply to everybody, but you can pay for this with WoW Gold.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't play WoW.
I know, but it's an option for a large majority of the community. Because WoW and Diablo seem to have more of a crossover, and then in their player base, and then they're like Heroes of the Storm, StarCraft, and Hearthstone seem to have more of a crossover with each other. It's really weird, and maybe I'm just seeing that from my own perspective, but I feel like those kind of are two smaller umbrellas within the Blizzard crowd.
I'm thinking more Heroes and Overwatch have more of a crossover.
Overwatch is almost its own thing now. Like,
true.
It's kind of moved to being what Hearthstone was initially. Hearthstone was the game that all Blizzard people played almost at first. And now Overwatch is that, like, by leaps and bounds. Everybody's got Overwatch. Not everybody has everything else. So.
Yeah. I wish that you could use Vespian gas to buy the Necromancer. I feel like that'd be pretty awesome. Going back to the price point with other things, like with StarCraft and that, all the extra solo packs and missions they had with the Nova stuff. I mean, that stuff in itself, that was what, $10 or $15 per, right?
I think it was $20 for the season pass. I didn't buy it, not because I didn't think it was worth it, just because I don't play StarCraft enough to justify it.
I still haven't beat Heart of Swarm yet. That's it, right?
I need to beat.
Yeah, that's the second one. I just beat Heart of the Storm probably a couple weeks ago, and I've slowly started to work my way through Legacy of the Void. When it comes to those types of games, like, I really just want to play the single player for it. The multiplayer is fun if you're playing with friends, but I can't play that game competitively because I can't play that game non-competitively. I'm so bad at it. I remember one time Brad and I were playing against another friend of ours, and it was 2-on-1, and we were so bad at that game that he stomped us, and he's, I wouldn't say he's a great player, but I mean, he's okay.
He's highly competitive with all games, so that's part of it. So further down the tree of Blizzard things, if we're done with Necromancer, I mean, I will.
That topic is dead.
Yeah, it is dead. Wait, what?
Not quite. Do we have a date on season 11 yet?
We do. It's just like the end of the month, the end of July. I think the last week. So.
Which that's probably going to be my breaking point. Like, if a new season starts, I'll start playing. I'm like, I want to get Necromancer.
Yeah, I mean, she is a lot of fun. Really, like it's one of the more fun classes I've played in a while. And like Ryan was saying, it is one of the mainstays of D2. Like, from my standpoint, everybody had a Necromancer, a Paladin, and probably what's the other one I'm thinking of? Like a Mage or an Amazon. Those are probably the big four. So it's nice to see them there, and it gives me hope for things like Druids and Amazons in the future. I would love to see more Diablo content. Give me more classes. And on top of that, the little things that they do for their just general updates, like the new tile set, and there's like a tiny bit of story that actually takes place after you deal with Malthael. So that's fun too. It's acknowledged the fact that the things in Act 5 have happened via someone's journal. And but
that's
the new
one
tiles,
trophy I'm not looking forward to. Actually, have to replay through the whole game.
But the new tile sets are nice. Like, everybody, when Diablo first came out, they're like, it's too pretty, it's too bright, it's too rainbows. This is a gray, black, and white cathedral with red lights. And that's about as Diablo as you're gonna get. It's awesome.
The official date for season 11 is July 20th at 5:00 Pacific.
Ooh.
Well then, I will be starting that late. I'm gonna be playing Destiny 2 beta then. So.
Yeah. So do you think that? I mean, they've been on Diablo 3 for a long time, and this is like the first content that they've kind of thrown into it for a while. How much longer do you think they have in it? I mean, do you think they're going to announce something new at BlizzCon this year? I mean, I can't help but feel like they're going to, because I feel like they're kind of hitting the bottom of the well with it.
They need to really do something with it. Even if it's just another character that's coming out next summer, they need to do more with it. I would love to see Act 6 in a true expansion with another class. That would be perfect for me. But as long as they keep the content coming, they've done a lot of quality of life improvements from patch 2.0 till now. We're at 2.6 was what came out last week. Just little things that the community's asked for since the beginning. They finally put in things like wardrobe, and your crafting materials don't take up space anymore. Gold just picking up if you have a pet. That's little things like that, and it all adds up over time, and you forget when it came in, but you're just like, this. It's better and better as they go along.
Yeah, no, but that's a good quality of life thing, and I mean that is a form of content. But for me, like, even the Necromancer by itself, that's not extra content to me. Because even if I don't get the Necromancer, they're supposed to be adding extra to after the Malthael part, which I haven't even seen yet. So that's technically content for me. But the story is kind of what I was going through, and I'm like, I don't expect them to announce Diablo 4 or anything like that in November. But another expansion, just another step for the story, just a big chunk. That's what I want.
It's a very difficult thing because I mean, outside of talking to the lore masters, your common storyman player is, to me, it feels like they've painted themselves kind of into a corner. Yeah, they have some outlets they can run to, but does it feel like it can support a whole expansion? Not really. It's an awkward spot with what they actually ended Act 4 with, and how they deal with Leah and stuff. Supposedly she's not gone, so like that's what everybody's hoping for, is that we somehow go after Leah. But I don't know how you do that. Honestly, I mean, really at this point, I think all the rumors we've seen about D2 Remastered are where we're going next. And they'll continue these little tile set updates and small things like changes to the rifts. Like the challenge rifts are new as of last week too. So now you can they just pick a random player in the world and they say, okay, here's your gear set. You play it exactly like they did, beat their time. Which it's content, you know. It's not story content, but it's definitely content.
I want to see Diablo 3, the expansion pack, Raising Cain, where Deckard Cain comes back and he's pissed. Stay a while and listen and die.
Stay a while and die. Yeah, that'd be a great tagline for it.
I mean,
he's the next Diablo.
Stay a while and listen to the screams of the innocent.
I don't know. There's a lot that they can do, but it's just without having read all the books and stuff, it's hard for me to really have a fair guess. So moving to WoW. Now Justin's gonna have absolutely nothing to say and fall asleep.
Like a bat out of hell.
Just gonna lean back. Go for
it. So they released the Tomb of Sargeras raid a week ago. And 2 days later, they said, hey, guess what? Here's 7.3 on the PTR, and we're going to Argus. And everybody lost their damn minds, including me.
For the layman, Argus is the original homeworld of the Draenei, where they were scared off by the Burning Legion after some betrayals and all this fun shit. So, yeah, they haven't been on their planet for a very long time. And now we are going back to face the Burning Legion there. And it's going to be pretty awesome, I think.
Yeah, I don't know how spoilery I want to get with this, and I don't know how much you've read. So, there's...
I know, it's fine.
There's some...
But this is everyone's spoiler warning. If you don't want to hear about what's going on, don't do this. Don't listen to this part. We're actually going to be talking about spoilers in a different light in a little bit, but not like giving away spoilers, but talking about actual spoilers.
So
you'll know when we get there. Anyways.
Josh can put a timestamp in here if he feels like it.
Right here.
So we're going to Argus. Illidan's back, full throttle. He opened a giant portal in the sky, and that's how we're going. We're getting on a big ass ship, and we're just floating through this rift, and we're gonna be there because you literally once you finish the last raid, the skybox changes and you can see Argus up in the sky. And I can't wait to have that, because it's pretty. But we're going to be seeing some old people who have not been around since the days of Warcraft 2, finally. And I'm quite excited because it's like, the paladin of all paladins is here, finally. The best one. No more Tyrion
Arguably.
Arguably nothing.
Arguably.
He's the best. He was one of the original creators of the Silver Hand, so yeah.
Have you read the book, Brad?
I've read pretty much everything.
I read the book too recently, so
you know, well, you're probably going to be slightly more accurate, detail-oriented accurate than I am right now because it's been a while since I've read anything.
But yeah, Turalian. He was one of the people they made into a paladin when the orcs originally came in, and he was a noob, total noob, and he thought that he was terrible at what he did, but he eventually got to the point where they made him the leader because of his determination and his training and all sorts of other stupid lore-y things.
He's such a badass. He broke his sword and kept using it.
That he did.
And he still uses it. And he's such an awesome paladin that the other end of it's made out of light now. What? I like paladin.
That does not seem very electricity efficient, but anyways.
No, but so we're going to be dealing with Argus, and we thought as of last year that the Titans that we've been dealing with were dead. not so, it seems. We've only seen one set of patch information so far, so we don't know how they are here or if they're their true selves. But there's some Titans still around in 7.3, and they're not supposed to be. So we don't know what's going on there. We're gonna have to encounter them. I don't know if it's fighting them or helping them. I'd love to see another help encounter. We haven't seen a good help the boss encounter since probably Ice Crown. I don't remember if there was another one, but it's been years. And that was an okay fight, but there's so much stuff for Lore Nuts, and like looking at all the things they're adding, it feels like almost a mini expansion. We've never, to my knowledge, gotten extra profession stuff mid-cycle, and we're getting that. We're getting new cloth, new leather, new mining stuff, everything, and that little things like that make me go, wow, they're really going ham on this. And the in-game zone has never been this big before. It's really almost the size of 3 zones, which it's being compared to Vashir a lot. If for those of you who played Cataclysm and remember the split there, how big Vashir was, and I'm excited. I want to go on PTR right now, except for my character stuck. Excuse me. So, I'm trying to remember what else is coming. And I'm blanking. Help me out, Ryan, because
sure. Well,
I'm overly excited about this patch, really.
No, you're fine. They've got the new story content with everything, and that's really awesome. As far as mechanic stuff, they've got new world quests, of course. Like you said, this is the first time they're adding items that you can, craft for the different things, including epic gems. And I know you're a jewel crafter, so I know that's going to be pretty cool for you.
Oh, yeah, we haven't had epic gems in a while. I missed them.
Other than that, they've got the Netherlight Crucible, which is just some more artifact stuff. It opens up a new way to customize your relics. They haven't released too much information on that.
Yeah, we're
new dungeons, new raids, invasion points, and on top of that, what we heard from the interview with Cox and Krindor with Ian Hazakostas, they're going to be adding rift stones to it, which basically, whenever we get to Argus, we find out that there is a really big network of portals that goes from planet to planet. That's how the Legion gets around, and we can get these rift stones, and we can go to these other planets, and we can kind of fight the Legion on other worlds other than Argus, which is kind of cool. And like we were talking about that a little bit earlier, it does definitely have that same Riftstone feel or Riftgate feel that Diablo 3 has. And like you said, I'm not sure how exactly they're going to pull that off. Right. But it to me it sounds like scenarios used to be where you'll get in a group, you'll have a group objective. You'll do what you can to meet the needs for that objective, then probably go fight a boss and get loot. Right. And that's just breaking it down to its most simple part. I'm sure they'll add story and the opportunity to see different worlds, and maybe we'll see things like where the demons actually came from. If you've ever wondered, like, well, where did they pick up imps? Because everybody in the Burning Legion, they were actual beings before Sargeras actually kind of conscripted them into the Burning Legion. And as they would go and they would conquer worlds, they conscript new demons to add on to the Legion, and that's how there's so many different races of demons. So I think it'd be cool to see like the Imp home world or the Watcher home world, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting if they do it that way. Furthermore, you'd mentioned the dungeon. You would think that with this being a Legion expansion, it's just going to be more demons. The dungeon is interesting to me because it's not demons. It's actually the oh my god, what is the word? The mummy dudes. I'm blanking.
I can't think of their names. I didn't play it till after Burning Legion, so I don't know who you're talking about. The Nether guys.
Oh God, what are they freaking called? I haven't interacted with them in forever, so I'm. It's like it's not useful information on a daily basis. But they're the guys who do the transmog and everything.
The Ethereals?
Yeah, the Ethereals. Thank you, the Ethereals, and these are the bad Ethereals, the ones that messed everything up for everybody, from what I understand. And they've got
not the ones that make you have fancy clothes.
Yeah, not the transmog guys. But they have updated character models, which is very interesting. Why would you update that and put them in a four boss 5-man dungeon unless you're going to be doing a lot more with them very soon?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know in our off time we've kind of speculated where we thought they might end up going with different things, and we've got a couple different theories that are going around. One of them, which I think would include these guys, would be the void, because the negative parts of energy in the World of Warcraft universe kind of stem from Fel, death, and the void, and all that. You know, if you have the Chronicles, they've got a whole diagram for it, but there's that whole side, and with the Fel part of it, that's what we're facing right now. Other than the Fel, there's the void energies. So all the little purple guys, bad guys, the void lords, and that sort of thing. Basically, this is the stuff that powers the old gods, kind of where they came from with everything.
Exactly,
So if we're seeing the Ethereals and we're working with them or working against them, you know, they have ties to the void, which have ties to the old god, which leads me to believe that we may see some more old god content. You know, I mean, it's not just that stuff, the new stuff that's coming out. I mean, there's stuff that's already hinting in it. Like I don't know if you've played a Shadow Priest or done any of the artifact stuff with that, but your whole thing is that's an old god encrusted weapon.
Yeah, everything I've seen is pointing us more towards I guess this would be like the equivalent of Burning Crusade, but for the void stuff, because we're not going to go handle that in one expansion. Not happening.
Yeah.
So it would be like the major introduction to them, because they've been around. Void's always been a thing, but it's never been fully explored in an expansion or much. I don't even think there's been many storylines about it. The priest weapon may be the biggest thing, other than, you know, just old gods, and we didn't even know what the old gods were until the book came out last year. So, I don't want to continue droning on about this forever because Justin's gonna fall asleep.
I'm fine. Keep going. I'm memorized. Go, man.
Well, Justin, you played during Wrath of the Lich King, didn't you?
Yeah, that's where I stopped.
Okay. Well, I mean, you kind of know the basis with that. You know, we went and we fought the Lich King, who's in charge of the Scourge with everything, and we killed him. And after we killed him, you know, Arthas went poof, he was gone, or you know, he probably was gone. I don't know. World of Warcraft has this habit of bringing things back and bringing people back, that whether they're dead or not. But they put the Helm of Domination on Bulwar Fordragon at the end, and he was the Lich King, and he blocked himself up in ice, and that's kind of all we hear from him until recently. And in Legion, if you play as a Death Knight, you find out that the Lich King will still communicate with you, and he wants to be your ally against the Legion, and you go, and he is really, really strong. And you know, there's always this kind of question of whether or not he has control over you or not anymore, because there are little instances around the Legion world zones where if you have the parts for Frostmourne, the Lich King sword, he will talk about how you're really just a slave. I hope you know that. And it just kind of opens up the idea that possibly, since he has continued to grow in power, we'll probably see some more stuff from the Lich King in the future, whether it's part of an expansion or an expansion down the road. Brad, you want to say anything on your theory with that?
I think that's more, after seeing the stuff this past week with 7.3, I think it's still in the cards, but I think they're going to let him bide his time. He's going to be like, why should I fight, you know, on two fronts when I can just let the void and, you know, the humans or the living people, go at each other first, and then I can come and clean up the mess. That's kind of how Bolivar was, because Bolivar wasn't a leader; he was a general. He was a tactician, and that makes sense. And I think him being a tactician and not having anything to prove, is going to make him a much scarier and more efficient villain than Arthas ever was if they go that route.
Yeah, I think, and I think you'd said this before, but I think we'll go and we'll be elsewhere, and we won't be paying attention to Azeroth as much, like the world that we're in right now. And we'll be off on Argus or some other planet, or somewhere fighting this big thing, and then we'll be like, oh, we are finally finished. Let's go home. And we get back, and it's just zombies everywhere. Like, he's just kind of cleaned up while we were gone, and there was no way for us to be contacted.
Yeah, I mean, we can. Go ahead.
Like being in the boonies with a cell phone.
Yeah.
From Sprint.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that they can do, but don't expect it to be your generic high fantasy anymore. WoW's gone far beyond that. We're in the realm of spaceships and all sorts of other things, which is weird that we don't have laser guns and use them instead of melee weapons, but whatever.
This is how StarCraft starts, I'm sure.
Yeah.
One day, they're going to be like, all right, screw it, tie it all together. One day.
So, I think we've droned on about that enough. Do you want to go ahead and talk about our the saga that we went through?
I think you got more involved with it than I did. I just went through and read it and upvoted a couple things. Our friend, concerning actually the patch stuff last week, our friend Lauren Walsh, who we had on a couple shows ago, she went and drew some art of the new character model of Turalian. Now, she tagged it properly, from what I can tell, and put it up on the WoW Reddit. And she tagged it as a spoiler and all the right things, and people kind of lost their shit a little bit, saying it was still a spoiler and she didn't do it properly. I still don't understand their argument. This is why I'm like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And here's the thing. To me, it's not a spoiler at all, because if you've played through the game at all at this point, if you've listened to any kind of information about this character over the years, they've been leading up to this point for a long time. And yeah. So, she posted up there, and people freak out, because a character model, a artistic rendition of a character model update is considered a spoiler, even though the character we've known was going to show up this expansion. We knew this character was alive. All they did was put him in the PTR and change his model from generic human number 4. And it's a damn good looking model. But how's that a spoiler?
He's already in the expansion, and you don't see his model fully, but you see most of it already in the game. Like, and there's a video cutscene that they do, and you already see it. So what happened was, Lori put it on to Reddit and just got reamed for it for no reason, because people were saying that she was trying to put up a spoiler for something. And like our buddy Big Schmoop is saying in the chat, it's Reddit, it's cancer to the internet. You could post it up that you're giving out free cookies and $100 bills, and someone on Reddit would find issues with it, which I totally agree. Like, I'm not a huge Reddit fan. If we ever have one for this show or anything like that, that's gonna be weird to me, and I probably won't ever go there. But anyways, it just kind of begs to the question, all this information was already out there, and it's in the game. So what exactly makes a spoiler? Even if it's not like WoW related, what do you consider to be a spoiler?
It's sad that Josh isn't here, because just saying you liked a movie is a spoiler for Josh.
Yes.
Yeah. Josh is the exception to the rule, I think.
Which he had no fucking problem saying how much he liked Spider-Man. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Josh got to see Spider-Man Homecoming early because he won a contest, and also because he's an asshole. But anyways.
That's why he's not interested in seeing it while we're in Austin.
Yeah.
You didn't know he'd already seen it?
No, I didn't. Like, I totally missed that. Like, I don't pay attention to Slack, man. I'm, like, busy most of the day. I'm tired when I get home. So, like, I glance. I'm like, shrug my shoulders and go to bed.
So, but yeah, I mean, to Josh, something small like saying, I like this movie is a spoiler to him because it sets some kind of preconceived notion in his mind that you like it. Maybe I know what you like. Maybe that tells me too much about this movie. Whereas with me, when it comes to spoilers, if it spoils like a big plot twist or anything like that, that's when I get angry. In this situation, I can understand that some people may not remember that he was in there or that he's talked about a lot or that the whole fucking point of the Light's Heart missions is that you see him and can communicate with them, but that's not a spoiler to me. What was a spoiler to me was right when Cataclysm came out and they opened up the Worgen stuff and I was off leveling something else. I didn't do a Worgen until a couple days later and I was leveling my Worgen and in the first... like one of the first big story parts for the Worgen, somebody very important dies. And I was going through and I was playing it and somebody asked me where I was and I was like, I'm at this point. And they're like, oh, right before such and such dies? That's a spoiler.
That's just not even being considered at that point,
No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the person who said it, like, they weren't, like, trying to be a dick about it. They weren't posting pictures of Rilo Ken stabbing Han Solo or anything like that, which that is considered a spoiler, because that's a big, major plot twist. If you walk outside the theater after watching The Sixth Sense when it came out, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that Bruce Willis was a ghost the whole time, to a line of people, that is a spoiler.
No, like even in Simpsons did like the old Star Wars, where he's like, I can't believe like Darth Vader's Luke's father.
Yeah,
that gets there too. Or like I find right now like the number one offenders for spoilers are the companies themselves, because like Spider-Man, they showing way too many trailers of it. Pirates recently too, like they showed some. I actually saw Pirates. I'm ashamed of it, but there's like trailers that they actually show like key plot points in the trailer that you didn't know would be in the movie. But it's there in the trailer. And it was there beat for beat, too. It's not like a Star Wars trailer where half the stuff, or probably like 3/4 of the stuff you see in a Star Wars trailer, it's not in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that, that's actually a good example, though. Movie trailers, like, Jumanji, the new Jumanji movie that's coming out. Like, we knew that, Jack Black and The Rock were cast in as specific characters. Can you really do a trailer without showing them at this point? No. But how much more interest would I have had in that movie, not knowing how they're going to show up in the movie? I basically saw the plot by watching the trailer and a bunch of explosions. It seemed more like a Michael Bay movie, but I was just like, if I knew they were in it, but I didn't know how, and I just knew that the movie was starting out with some kids, and I'm like, huh? That would have pulled me in a lot more, and now I'm like, oh, okay, well, they're changing, sort of, because of the get new appearances in the game. It's okay. Now, that said, the fact that Jack Black is playing a girl, that's gonna be hilarious. So yeah. It's 6 1/2 dozen the other.
I had a similar thing though with Zombieland when it came out, which if you haven't seen it, that's a great movie. You should watch it. But we're here in Charleston, and Bill Murray lives in Charleston, so it's not uncommon to see Bill Murray sightings. Well, Bill Murray was coming to the GameStop that I was working at that day because he called in and asked for specific things he was trying to pick up for his kids, and so this GameStop was right across the street from a movie theater where Zombieland was playing. And somehow the manager caught wind of it, and he came rushing over with a Zombieland poster. And I hadn't seen the movie yet, but he's like, yeah, dude, he plays a huge part in this movie. And it's like, really? I didn't even know that. And that's one of the best little twists in that movie is that Bill Murray is in it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, knock it off. I'm getting attacked by a cat. I'm gonna have to kick his ass in a minute.
But no, anything that would reveal the plot line or major character arcs, things like that, that's a spoiler. When you've been presented with the information ahead of time, it's not really a spoiler. The fact that I'll parallel this with Star Wars, actually. Kylo Ren has a new outfit in Episode 8. That's not a spoiler. That doesn't spoil anything about the film, really, unless his outfit shows you something that pertains to the plot. And that's essentially what this is. It's a new character model. You knew he was there. You knew he was going to show up. You know,
does have a robot hand or something.
Yeah, you know, it's just silly. I'm sorry, I'm very thirsty tonight.
Josh is so spoiled.
Oh, he's gonna hate us.
Yeah, he is.
More so.
Oh, and he's not gonna get away from two of us very soon.
Oh yeah, he's gonna pray for peace and just some solitude.
So
we get drunk and hairy.
So that means you guys are going to RTX next weekend.
Yep.
This week, and not even next weekend. Like it's I fly out Thursday.
Yeah, I head out Thursday too. I think Justin gets there in the morning. I get there in the afternoon, and Josh leaves us without a hotel for about 6 hours. Justin with about 6 hours, me for about 3 hours. Yeah, we're doing as much coverage as we can. Unfortunately, we're not able to schedule, like person-to-person interviews for the most part this year, which is kind of a bummer, but we understand. There's so many people that have so many things going on, and they have to kind of accommodate the wishes of not just us, but everybody who's media, who's looking for that. So we're going to get in on a couple different little media-only press conferences, which is pretty cool. We'll be able to ask some questions through that. And then, there's lots of fun stuff other than that. We'll be able to get into the panels to, hear what's going on in the world of Rooster Teeth and beyond. We're going to be taking part in the Achievement Hunter escape room. We're hoping to be able to film that because that's going to be fucking crazy.
Ooh. Now I'm really sad I'm not going to be there.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. We've got a couple auxiliary members this year. We've got Super Blake. He's coming with us. He's going to be helping us record and edit and, do different things. Jim Lincoln from the Admit One podcast is going to be making an appearance at one time. He's an official Concal guy though, so but he's just, you don't hear much from him other than
I didn't know he was flying out there.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. And Chris Teeny Weenies Hernandez from Casting for Two is also going to be joining us. I'm really looking forward to hanging out with those guys and doing lots of cool stuff. We've actually got some pretty cool stuff planned as well. One of the reasons Jim is actually going to be there is because we're going to do some drunken lore.
Ooh.
Yep. It's going to be the nerd version of drunk history, I guess. So we've got a couple different topics for that. We don't have any drinks picked out yet, but we'll find a way.
We'll get them drunk.
Life finds a way for that. And hopefully I will be able to run into Dave Willis and show him my Meatwad tattoo. He does the voices for Meatwad and Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, along with a lot of other things. He's just really involved with Adult Swim. So
cool. I didn't know he was going to be there.
Yeah, he's going to be there. And I hope I get to pester the shit out of him.
Oh, you will, sir.
Just walk up to him, hey, Dave, and start taking off your shirt.
I got this.
Hey, Dave, can I show you my Meatwad tattoo? Which I don't know how he'll go for that, something like that, because I have seen a tattoo of Meatwad where somebody tattooed it onto their scrotum. So.
Oh, just make that clear at the start.
Mine's on my shoulder, so like I can do this in public. So
at least they got the texture right.
It's true.
Yeah, I guess they pick up how.
Depends on
how
the
he
time
picks
of
up
day.
hairs.
Depends on the season.
Oh god, I missed that. I wish they hadn't canceled it. They need to bring it back, or do like yearly specials. Just like do an hour once a year for us. That'd be good. So, anything else special about RTX other than the guests we have mentioned there? Or?
It's my first year going. The only other big convention I've been to is BlizzCon, and I'm excited for the convention vibe. I'm excited to, meet with all the other content creators and collaborators that are on our level with everything. But I'm even more excited just to be able to be a part of something with like all of our idols, just walking by and there's Jeff Ramsey, like I was watching Red versus Blue earlier, and I remember being in high school and we would watch, like, back in the days where you would have to download everything individually on a WMV file.
Yeah, you got to watch on QuickTime or something.
Yep. I remember watching all the first 2 seasons from that. So I'm excited for the con vibe. I'm excited for the celebrity vibe. And I'm excited to get to hang out with Josh and Jim and those guys who I don't get to hang out with in person for a while. And Justin too, even though he lives like an hour away.
Yeah, that's the odd part. I'm kind of interested to see what RTX turns into this year, guys. We know like Sydney was kind of like a PAX almost. So I'm really curious what they're pulling out this time.
Yeah, do we have a list of I guess guests that not guests but booths maybe?
I do. I'll pull it up.
Okay.
That'll give us a little preview of it. But there's still some yearly interviews that you can expect this time happening again this year. I think the one we got confirmed, Greg Miller, which a great guy. He sees us every year, so happy about that. But yeah, it's gonna be really neat. It's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be nice to just like Ryan mentioned, even though we live an hour away, we don't spend much time together, but we're gonna be hanging out in Austin, get to hit up 6th Street and all that fun stuff.
Motherfucking Andy Serkis. That's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be running around, going on him a bit.
Yeah, he's one of the keynote speakers, so fucking Gollum's gonna be there. That's awesome. Oh yeah,
you play a lot of monkeys.
Oh god,
that'll be a question. It's like, how many monkeys did you capture for Planet of the Apes?
I'm just really curious as to like how big of developers are going to be there, really.
Side and Happiness is going to be there. Egonaut Games. This is just a quick rundown.
Cool.
Gamer Crates. Griffin Ramsey, Jeff Ramsey's wife. I'm hoping to see some of her chainsaw art. That'd be pretty cool. Japanimation. Or Mishin, I guess. Neebs Games, Nerd Haven, No One Famous Studios, Retrodox Games, SP Entertainment. Right. Yeah, it's a lot. South by Southwest is going to be there. Twitch is going to be there. I just saw one that was really cool.
Twitch, get me a purple shirt.
I'll see if I can get you a purple shirt.
You can't get one.
It's pretty much if it's RTX universe related, it'll be there.
Yeah.
And Screw Attack's thing will be like shoved up in some corner, as it always is now.
You need to get you a label camera and record the premiere of Ruby for me, so I don't have to wait.
Well, they have a whole thing on Ruby, like a whole press conference that I think that some folks want to get into. So
yeah, I'm very I'm like a when it's on fan, but like when it's not on, I'm just like, give me more, and then I'll be excited again. That said, it is probably one of my favorite animes. I think it still qualifies as anime, even though it's American made. So I've loved it. I'm ready for more.
Yeah, I kind of want to go. They're having a press conference for like the Founding Father stuff. I just kind of want to hear some of that started from the bottom, now we're here story. Because I mean, Concal's been around. Concal's been around for 5 years. I mean, granted, we're nowhere near what they are, but listening to the old stuff and seeing where we are now, in the before you decided to let me make everything wonderful. I mean, it just leaps and bounds. So I'm just excited to see that and see if we can get some people to join teenyweenies.com.
Yeah, join teenyweenies.com. All right. So I think that's probably going to cut us for this week. Don't want to run too long. So unless you guys have anything else to drop in real quick, I'm going to take us out of here.
No. If you happen to be at RTX, we're going to be there all weekend. Say hello. We should have some stickers and some shirts and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you were going to be in the shirts or not. I wasn't sure if they were ready.
Josh said they were ready. He said he has them, I think.
Okay.
Is what I heard last. So, we'll have shirts and stickers and stuff, and you can see our shitty business cards that did not end up doing what we wanted them to do.
No.
But, come say hi. Come hang out. We'll grab some drinks. Eat some barbecue. Defend the Alamo. But that's the other side of Texas, I think. I don't know. I need to brush up on geography.
Geography. All right, guys. So we thank you for joining us this week, be it the live or recorded podcast. We are here every Monday night, unless otherwise noted or stated, at twitch.tv/constantly calibrating, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. If you would like to find us other places online, we are at constantlycalibrating.com. We are at ConCalPod on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. Just look up Constantly Calibrating. Same for Instagram. I think is ConCalPod. I would have to look. Instagram. Nope, it's Constantly Calibrating. And of course, if you'd like to talk to any of us individually, you can grab us on Twitter. I'm at OGZanos, Justin is at The Aging Gamer, and Ryan is at RydaddyF. So, and of course YouTube. YouTube.com/ConCalPod. Can't ever forget that. That's all of our archives, boys. Anything that we do shows up there eventually. So, again, thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week post RTX. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.